This is Richard Kusiolek, CEO and Managing Director of GMCstream out of Mountain View, California. And I'm really excited today to have a second opportunity to talk with Ryan Welsh, who's founder and CEO of KYNDI. And we're sitting here in his headquarters in San Mateo, California. And I'm really excited. We'd like to, welcome you back, if you will. And it's so good, really good. We met at SoCon in Tampa, Florida, and I thought that was really a great opportunity. And I began to appreciate your intellect and also the things that you're doing with your company. So I'm going to ask you a few questions if I could.
Absolutely.
And so I'm going to take advantage of your brain power as well. So can you tell us a little bit about your background and perhaps a little bit about your company's mission?
Yeah, sure. So starting with the company, starting with KYNDI, we're an artificial intelligence company. We build explainable AI solutions for government, healthcare, and financial services. Our company exists because artificial intelligence and really the subgenre, if you will, of machine learning has a black box problem. That is, the outputs that they put out are not explainable. So we've developed a way to make these explainable. My background is in mathematics. I have a graduate degree in applied math, focusing on quantitative finance, mathematical economics. Also have an MBA from Notre Dame. So maybe too much school.
You never have enough too much school, I can tell you that. Okay, well, great. Thanks so much. And so, what's your overall mission for the company? Where are you looking to?
I always say that we're rapidly creating the world's greatest AI company. So that's really where we're going with these things. I fundamentally believe that we need artificial intelligence to drive economic growth forward. It's a critical point in our country's history, or really the world's history, in how do we move beyond these bottlenecks that we have in our modern production process, which are you and I, because we can't read and understand information any faster than our parents or grandparents. So it's very similar to the Industrial Revolution, but here we are now in the knowledge economy, so we can call it the knowledge revolution. And we at KYNDI want to be the engine for that revolution.
Well, of course, you did be recognized, I think, for a very prestigious. Why don't you say a little bit about that?
Yeah. We were super excited. So CB Insights is a very well-known company that has venture data, so a bunch of private company data. All the VCs, private companies, corp dev folks at larger companies subscribe to it. And we were just ranked as one of the 100 most promising AI companies in the world. So it's a
you got to be exciting about that.
Yeah, super excited.
It's I think very. I looked at the figures. I mean, out of 1,000 companies, only 9 were picked, and that's got to tell you something about your company.
100 were picked in total. 9 from the cross industry group. So we have a very horizontal platform. It can be applied to a lot of problems, and like I said, being the engine of that knowledge revolution is what we're trying to build here.
Okay, great. Well, thanks very much for giving me a better idea. Now we're going to kind of get into this thing. I read a lot, before this interview. One thing that came across was a thing called explainable artificial intelligence. So maybe you can enlighten me and also others. What is explainable artificial intelligence versus artificial intelligence?
Yes. So they're the same but different. We put explainable there because it's key. You see now with the most popular techniques is that you can't actually understand why the program is making a certain decision. So for example, there's the classic example of deep learning network being trained to identify cats in pictures. We actually don't know if the network is actually identifying the cats in the pictures, or if it's identifying something else in the image, which allows it to then predict that this picture is of a cat with very, very, very high accuracy. And that's a problem. So now if I'm in financial services, if I'm in the government, if I'm in healthcare, and I have a system that is saying you should take this action, or the system is deciding that this is the outcome or the output that I want to give to someone. And now the analyst, or the financial analyst, government analyst, or anyone in healthcare now says, but why are you telling me this? Why is it the outcome? And with deep learning networks and with other statistical techniques, the answer would be something along the lines of, well, because some parameter is some number. What does that mean?
Right.
As opposed to, I'm giving you this output because X, Y, and Z, as a human being would be able to explain to another human being. So how do you build these AI systems that when they are our partners in research or anything else, you can interrogate them, you can have a back and forth with them, you can understand, hey, this is why the system is ultimately making these decisions. And it's been a long-standing challenge in AI, and we have genuinely novel algorithms that address this problem.
Well, I think they did really a very clear focus that I think we can all understand, and I appreciate that very much. And so, let me ask you, what do you think is the long-term significance of artificial intelligence? What's your thinking?
I do see a corollary to the Industrial Revolution, and the benefits to society that came out of the Industrial Revolution are apparent. I mean, even the bottom of the income spectrum has cell phones, cars, right? All these goods that can now be manufactured cheaply. Where prior to it, they could not be manufactured cheaply. So now we think about, in a knowledge economy, what are all these decisions that need to be made where these decisions are expensive? The decision to give a certain treatment, the decision to take some legal stance, the decision in a number of different fields, they are very expensive, and thus those decisions are expensive. So how do we, in a modern knowledge economy, reduce the cost of making decisions? And ultimately that welfare will flow to the general public. It is critical importance that we develop AI technologies to enable us to have that knowledge revolution.
Well, thank you very much for, again, further clarification. And so I'm kind of wondering, can artificial intelligence exceed human intelligence? Really exceed you and I?
Well, I mean, it does to some degree right now. I mean, it really comes down to, how do you define intelligence, right? And there's some aspects of, you can say intelligence is being able to identify something in a picture, and deep learning networks do a phenomenal job, better than human job on doing that. Sure. So there's all different aspects of intelligence, and in some cases, current techniques do go past our intelligence. But if you were to put all those or all the pieces of intelligence together to have a human being, no, there's no one general system. There's no artificial general intelligence that exceeds human intelligence. It's a great quote from a pioneer in the field of artificial intelligence, a guy named John Soa, who's a fellow with us here at KYNDI, and he says one of the great strengths of artificial intelligence is its implementation of a number of different types of human intelligence. But its greatest failure is fragmentation. The inability to put all of those pieces of intelligence together to have an artificial general intelligence.
I see. There's a thing called Consumer Electronics Show, in Las Vegas, and started on the 9th, and it's still going until the 12th. And so I was kind of looking at this. There was a company over there that was called CAREOS, C-A-R-E-O-S. This company is a French company, a division of a French company. And they introduced a smart mirror that uses some form of artificial intelligence that scans a lipstick brand, recognizes it, and then plays a beauty tutorial on lipstick applications, okay? And then also, we have a guy here in Silicon Valley with a company called Nvidia, CEO Jensen Huang, who believes that the next major application for artificial intelligence, in his mind, the next $1 billion opportunity for his company, he replied, I'm quoting, "The thing that is going to happen next is the ability for AI to write artificial intelligence by itself. So Ryan, how close are we to using AI to watch every business process patterns that can go through sales, engineering, supply chain, logistics, business, operations, finance, customer service? Then as a result of this observation, this AI software can, write an AI software, if you will, that then automates that business process. And so I believe, anyway, that this would really be applicable to the manufacturing of new aircraft and other dual-use defense opportunities. So what's kind of your opinion?
Yeah, well, one, the whole point of machine learning is to build a program that can write itself from the data. That was the purpose of it, because we didn't have, if you think back to expert systems where you needed some omniscient modeler to model all the knowledge in that domain and ultimately build an AI technology that became was very brittle. So you moved towards these statistical techniques. So AI technology or machine learning technology does that already. I think where he's going there is the CEO of Nvidia, small company, is going with that is around GANs, or generative adversarial networks, which are a neural network that develops data, synthetic data, to then train another neural network. So Nvidia has made a lot of money selling GPUs to people doing deep learning techniques, and now because those deep learning techniques need tons of data, they need another deep learning technique to now generate synthetic data. So basically his revenue, and I'm sure he hopes his profits, are going to be 2 times what they are today, right, because you need twice as many networks to ultimately train your system. But getting back to the final question there is, how close are we to an AI which can automate the software developer? I think we're very far from that. I mean, there are uses of it now, but as far as observing the entire business process, understanding it, implementing itself, and embedding itself into a workflow, I mean, that's pretty sophisticated.
So would you put a date on it? Would you say maybe 2025, or by the time we go to the moon?
I love putting dates on things. So I mean,
I'm putting them on the spot.
Putting them on the spot. I always think about artificial general intelligence and kind of moving a little bit, a lot further than the question is. I put it out there that I believe it's going to happen in 2045.
Okay, 2045.
It's closer than we think.
Okay, I had to tell my grandson to look for that. Okay, excellent. Where is the progress being made today utilizing AI within the military defense arena?
Yeah, in military and defense, we're seeing it used for image analysis. And then in looking at data, unstructured textual data. So it really comes down to where you're seeing the deployments of it come down to the limitations of the current techniques that we have. So deep learning networks are phenomenal at perceptual tasks. They're phenomenal at analyzing images, provided that there's enough labeled training data to train that network on a specific image. But they're terrible at language, like absolutely terrible. And you're now starting to see companies like mine and a few others start to approach, how do we build these AI systems for language? So you're seeing deployments within defense intelligence using deep learning networks for image analysis. And then you're starting to see deployments on the troves of unstructured textual data that they collect. And that's really where I see the major impacts. I mean, I was talking about decision making becoming cheaper, and ultimately decision making also becoming faster. You think about it in the OODA loop, observe, orient, decide, act. Well, if I can get to deciding faster, I can get to acting faster as well. And that's where the biggest, in my personal opinion, the biggest impact is going to be is in analyzing all of the unstructured data that is collected to make decisions cheaper and faster.
Well, as we go along here, it's pretty pretty exciting, and a lot of your perspectives and answers as well. So anyway, here's another question. I'm kind of wondering, can these systems really kind of teach themselves, like, for example, various military field combat patterns that they can react to? Speech, hearing, motion, something like that.
Yeah. So as far as putting like a robot, on the ground, somewhere, then it can take all that sensory information and move. I think we're tremendously far away from that.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of AI techniques, machine learning techniques being used on very specific applications. So. And again, this is just understanding of technology, not
Sure.
actually understanding of the specific use case that the military is using it for. But I imagine, drones, other vehicles for analyzing data, navigating, and things like that. But as far as understanding the entire field of play, I think we're a while from that.
Okay, great answer. Of course, we at GMCstreamTV, we also review space and aerospace
Cool.
technology,
Yeah.
so we're kind of into that. So my question is, how disruptive do you see this AI technology as it applies to space technology as we know it now?
Yeah, I'm incredibly excited about AI and space, which is really interesting. So, I mean, what's most fascinating for me is space exploration. There was some talk about finding exoplanets and all these things, and that's great. But if you can build an AI system that you can put on a spacecraft that can explore further than you could explore with our biological limitations.
Sure.
I mean, that'd be incredible. So I'm really fascinated in how do we push the state of the art with artificial intelligence so that we enable these systems to go further than we could go as human beings. And now we're talking about exploration for extraterrestrials and other things within space. So I'm really excited about AI and space exploration.
Well, I'm very excited about that too, and I really appreciate your answer. I didn't explore that with you before, but I'm going to give you kind of hypothetical.
Okay.
Hypothetical. We just recently we had a major U.S. spy satellite that was lost about 2 days ago, and if SpaceX, let's just say, hypothetically, if SpaceX was using AI in its launch sequence for the Northrop Grumman Zuma launch, for example, do you think they would have realized that the satellite would not detach from the main Falcon 9 launch vehicle, or at least, AI would have studied the possibility before they even started the launch? What do you think?
Yeah, so...
Is that too far out?
Well, first, I imagine SpaceX is using all the techniques that are available today in machine learning and artificial intelligence to optimize their launches. Those guys are wicked smart. We have to draw differentiation between, or actually looking at what machine learning actually is. I think it's best described as computational statistics. And for statistics, you need to observe something before you can actually analyze and optimize for it, right?
Sure.
So in this case, there are things that probably went wrong that could be optimized for in the future, but not in real time.
I see.
Or anticipatory. I know you and I spoke previously about anticipatory applications, and that's really the difference between I argue human beings and these statistical techniques where we are anticipatory in nature. We don't always have to observe an outcome to then anticipate an outcome, whereas these techniques need to observe a large amount of data, that's outcome data, that they then analyze and optimize for. So I imagine the next launch, it's going to be optimized for any problems that they had on this launch, but not anticipatory of any future problems.
Right. Well, that's a great answer too, and I hope that Elon Musk is out there to look at this video. Well, of course, we're getting kind of to the end, and I appreciate your time. I know you're very busy. So finally, Ryan, is AI a powerful new revolution force that will have results that never really, realized before? I think you alluded to that a little bit earlier, but do you want to say more about it?
I do, and I think this time is different, and this time being there was a number of AI winters where there was progress and then it went cold for long periods of time. And I think this time is different is because we have to, or I argue that we have to have AI now. There's a Janet Yellen, I think it was early in 2017, Q1 2017, when she was testifying before Congress. She talked about productivity rates and how productivity rates over the last 10 to 15 years have gone down to, I think it was like 1.2, 1.3%, where historically they're about 2% growth year over year. And what's interesting about that is with those productivity rates at 2%, our economic well-being doubles every 35 years. At 1.2, 1.3%, our economic well-being doubles every 70 years. So it's incredible to think about that because we are being less productive, which is surprising with all the technology we have today,
Sure.
that our economic well-being now doubles every 70 years. And that's why this time is different, is because it is imperative for us to develop these technologies that make us more productive. To maintain our economic well-being doubling every 35 years, or even making it even shorter than that. Because I say that the American dream is just that. You come here, you work hard,
Right.
and your kids will be better off than you were. Well, right now, people of my age who are starting to have kids or have young kids, it is not a guarantee that their kids will have a better life than they have. So that's why this time is different. It's absolutely imperative that we fund AI research, invest in private AI companies, and really push this forward.
Well, I think you're a great spokesperson for that too, and I'm wondering if you have any other comments. I mean, this has really been a very exciting time. Every time I meet with you, I get more motivated. Do you have any other further comments?
Yeah, the final comments were, I talk about it being imperative that we develop these technologies. It's also imperative that we hold it to some standard, these technologies. And I believe explainability is a fundamental requirement for these systems, specifically when they're in applications that are going to impact the lives of other human beings. We need to be able to interrogate the system, understand why it made decisions. So I guess what I would leave you with, and everyone who's going to see this video with, is hold AI to a high standard, have explainability be a fundamental requirement of AI systems, and besides that, don't limit it too much, because it's necessary.
Well, again, it's been a great pleasure, and I want to thank you very much, Ryan, and I can see your company is going to be a great success, so thank you again.
Yeah, thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.